One young woman sat in Ted Bundy's car. She noticed something, just for a second. A wrong word, a glint in his eye. Her instinct screamed, "Run." But what did she really see? Ted Bundy walked toward the electric chair with a smile. Calm, cold, no fear. But why was he smiling? He'd once saved strangers on suicide hotlines. He held doors open, waved at cameras, smiled in court. But beneath that charm, something darker festered. He escaped jail twice, disguised himself, vanished, and while the nation searched, he hunted again. He admitted to 30 murders. Some say the true count is far worse. But one woman escaped him. She saw something no one else did, something that made her run. And whatever it was, it changed everything. Her escape would shatter one of America's darkest myths. Ted Bundy was born in 1946, raised to believe his mother was his sister. His life started with a lie, and it wouldn't be the last. He studied psychology, worked in politics. He even wrote rape prevention pamphlets. To most people, he seemed smart, clean-cut, even charming. But beneath that image, something was splintering. Bundy wasn't just watching people, he was watching women. Not just glancing, but tracking. Not observing behavior, rehearsing how to hide his own. In 1974, women began vanishing from college campuses. Washington, Oregon, Utah, Colorado. One minute they were walking home. The next they were gone. No bodies, no suspects, no connection. But there was one detail whispered again and again. A man, dark hair, nice smile, a sling, or crutches under his elbow, asking for help. Who was he? Police didn't see the pattern, but one survivor did, and she would be the crack that shattered his mask. November 1974. A teenage girl named Carol Duranch is approached by a man claiming to be a police officer. He says her car's been tampered with. He looks official, polite, calm. She hesitates, then gets in. First it's quiet, too quiet, but then she sees it. Pair of handcuffs, a flash of something not right in his eyes. He says her name wrong. Her gut twists. Something isn't right. Something is very wrong. She runs. She escapes. And later she remembers every detail. Her courage didn't just save her life. It cracked open one of America's darkest cases. Months later, Ted Bundy was arrested, but it wasn't for murder. It was for evading the police. But inside his car, evidence was piling up. Crowbars, ski masks, ropes, handcuffs. He was charged in connection to the Duranch case. Still, he smiled in court, represented himself, gained fans. Women wrote him letters. And then he escaped, first through a courthouse window. Then again something even bolder. He starved himself, squeezed through a hole in the ceiling, and walked out the front door dressed as a prison guard. And more importantly, what he did while the world thought he was locked away was even more shocking. On January 15, 1978, Florida, Ted Bundy breaks into a Florida State University sorority house. What he does inside is pure chaos, violence, frenzy, no control. He attacked 4 women, 2 of whom didn't survive. But somehow he's still not caught. Days later, he strikes again. A 12-year-old girl, abducted and brutally murdered. And it took weeks to find him, pulled over in a stolen car. And just like that, he's back in custody. But the real question lingers. How did a clean-cut law student turn serial killer and keep slipping through so many hands? Bundy's trial became a twisted performance. He objected, argued, cross-examined his own victims, argued with judges. He smiled. He winked. He even proposed to a woman on the witness stand. But behind the theatrics, the horror emerged. What happened in those woods? How did he choose his victims? Why did he keep items from them? The evidence was overwhelming. So was the show he put on to distract from it. Before his execution, Bundy started talking. He confessed to 30 murders. But his stories shifted. His details changed. He hinted at more, then retracted, then teased again. Why? Was he telling the truth or playing for time? Investigators believe he killed far more. Some say over 100. Victims whose names we may never know, whose families never got answers. Bundy took those secrets with him. And perhaps that smile? Maybe it was because he knew he'd never have to share them. Ted Bundy wasn't just a killer. He was a mirror, a reminder that evil doesn't always wear a mask. Sometimes it wears a smile. This story isn't about him. It's about the women he tried to erase, and the one who ran, who survived, who changed everything. Our condolences to the victims and their families. Subscribe for more true crime stories.